100 Thieves son un equipo que está jugando muy bien actualmente.
I definitely do think this is the strongest iteration of 100T.
It's always a fun match against them. They're a strong opponent.
There's still much work to be done. Only 2 remaining for Loud. Can they hold them back? The first will fall. Cryo gets 3.
Son un equipo que está muy estructurado, que tienen protocolos bien marcados y al mismo tiempo dentro de esa estructura son un equipo muy agresivo.
I think Lev is a really good team. I mean, they have Aspas, best player in the world. That team is always going to be dangerous.
Aspas has the glass cannon up, looking their way.
Seeing QCK go for this play quite frequently. There it is, Kesnitz. Well, you never saw what hit him.
We're feeling really confident going into it, so we're just going to see what happens.
Trabajamos mucho para esto y ahora concentrarse y seguir trabajando el doble de lo que lo hemos estado haciendo para asegurarnos de ganar ese spot en Master Shanghai.
Welcome back to VCT Americas and our second mid-season playoff match of the day between Leviathan and 100 Thieves. Of course, I'm Golden Boy. You got Doug, Baby Bay, as well as Wyatt here to break it all down. And boy, oh boy, first things first, congratulations to G2 2-0, and they're going to be representing the Americas region at Masters Shanghai. But now we look forward to our next match. I mean, what's fascinating, just like our previous match, this is another kickoff rematch that we're going to witness here today. We're going to see Lev and 100 Thieves take each other on for the second time.
Yeah, and I think this match should be better than what we saw the first time around, given the state of these two teams. I think Cryo, we saw put on a ridiculous performance in a way we haven't seen it possibly ever. And then Aspas is going to be good for it every single time. So I'm super pumped for this series, man.
Both of these teams have leveled up so much from kickoff. Back then, we already thought Lev were good, and then they started the season poorly against Cloud9, and then they just went straight to the moon. Yeah. This team is so sick. And 100 Thieves at this point started worse than Lev and now have met them right at the top. Their game plans on the maps that they excel at, like Bind, are just fantastic.
Yeah, and Boostio had an IGLing masterclass yesterday against Sadhak. I mean, that was really a sight to see. So I think the prep going into this is going to be everything for both sides.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge without a doubt, and it seems like everyone's firing on all cylinders. Let's go ahead, though, and jump over to the IGL of Leviathan. You got King, who's standing by with Elizabeth.
All right, pay attention, okay? Pay attention. Pay attention. Take notes. King, how you doing, homie? Good, thank you. So we noticed a pretty big change in Leviathan from week 1 until the rest of the matches you have played. What prompted that change?
I mean, one of the main things, obviously checking our loss and okay, have to lock in. We checked the documentary of Dark Rivers, and main thing we got out of it is that pressure is a privilege, because a lot of people, desk, teams talk about us, and instead of having it as a weakness, we're okay, they're talking about us because we're one of the best teams, so let's prove it.
Pressure is a privilege. I love it. I'm taking notes. What we look, rushing B?
Quite profound there from King, and also good to see Elizabeth jumping in the analytical role a little bit there. Love to see it here. But see, there's an interesting thing, though, right? He talked about how this team was, put a lot of pressure on their backs, right? I mean, look at the names on this list. You got a world champion, 2 world champions, as a matter of fact. You got big players in LATAM, up-and-coming players in NA. So, I mean, baby, this was a super team on paper. It did not start that way, though. And to see this team come together like this has been so awesome.
Yeah, and also one of the first mixed rosters to make it actually work.
Yeah.
And dominate this entire stage too. I mean, it's a lot of pressure not only on the fact that you're playing with a player like Aspas, but for Tex and Comp specifically, who just get slotted into this role, with 3 LATAM players.
Literally, yeah.
It's that's in itself pressure.
Yeah. I respect that approach so much. There are people who shy away from pressure, who shy away from expectations. And when you put together a squad like this, there are going to be a lot of expectations, but for them to understand and lean into it and go, pressure is a privilege. It's just such a cool thing. And I think not only when you think about the expectations of the roster, but also the fact that they've played on some of the biggest stages that VALORANT has had to offer, they've thrived in those scenarios. should be a lot more comfortable, and we've seen it kind of come together from beginning to end. The evolution has been a ton of fun to watch.
Yeah, it certainly has. And of course, let's not forget how this team got here to begin with. It was, through a string of impressive wins, but also a big win that they got over their LATAM rivals in Crew Wyatt. That pretty much set the tone for what we're seeing here at this Leviathan roster in playoffs.
And not only their LATAM rivals, it was stopping the Crew that hadn't lost yet.
Yes, they gave them the one.
They were at the apex of their hot streak, and they finally were the team to be able to shut them down, to shut Kesnet down, Aspas being the first player in any of the matches against Kesnet to have a superior duelist performance. But it's never just about Aspas with this team anymore. That's kind of how it began. That's how it even looked when they beat Sen. It was, well, Aspas, he was the only one getting kills. He got 47 kills. They're nothing without this guy. And then we're seeing the rest of the team show what they have to offer. King, Mazzino stepping up massively, that it is actually this well-rounded unit. They're, being referred to as a super team for a reason. It's not just one guy. It's what they have in totality.
That being said, though, it's still Aspas. And you still got to talk about the guy. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I agree with everything you said, Wyatt. It is the sum of all of its parts. But, I mean, you got one big old part there with Aspas. I mean, my boy's cooking right now.
And a lot of players from 100 Thieves, even in that previous interview that we recorded, I mean, even they're calling him the best player in the world still to this day. Right? So, I mean, this is a big, big moment for both teams, but Aspas brings a different vibe to the server, man, and he's always going to be shooting straight.
Yeah, there are just only so many ways that we can describe Aspas as good, right? and we've been talking about it for, 2 years now, right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, number 2 across all of Americas on every single stat you see on your screen.
That's crazy.
The guy's insane.
And I think it's Oxy that's ahead of him, or
even at that, Aspas was by far number 1 of anyone in the world up until the last week of the season when Oxy just kind of dunked on MIBR and got some stat padding in at the last second. But up until that moment, Aspas had the best stats in Americas, any league this year, and any of the leagues last year. So,
wow.
Kind of tells the story.
Yeah.
He's good.
He's good. He's good at video game. Now, the thing is, though, is that, yes, I know we talked about Aspas here, but there are other elements to this roster that have been shining. And one of those players, Mazzino, this guy has been clinical for the team. He's given them Doug so much to work with. I mean, again, it's kind of what we talked about with Kesnet and Heat. When you just have that tandem duo, being able to collect those kills and make impact on the server, these are the results you get.
Yeah, Mazzino's done such a good job of unlocking and enabling the players around him to be able to succeed. And I think that's one of the things that often goes underappreciated when you've got a guy like Aspas on your squad, right? Because he's going to be statting and all that crazy stuff. But when you're putting together a mixed roster like this, when you're putting together a project of this magnitude, that's the glue.
Yeah.
That's what makes a team like this succeed. And again, it often goes under the radar. It often goes underappreciated. But Mazzino he deserves the flowers he's getting now.
Totally agree. That second game that was being shown against NRG on Sunset, that was the one where the switch kind of flipped for him.
That was some of the craziest breach play.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, he was pretty quiet. And then since that NRG game, he's been electric. And on that map in particular, he was going off individually, which is so tough with how clunky breach is. And
He's got big old metal arms, man. You got to give your boy a break.
It's tough, man. It's a tough life, which is why
I'll be there in like 4 years. You know what I mean? Just give me some metal arms.
Prosthetic everything.
Somehow I got to get muscles. You know what I'm saying? Well, speaking of muscles, Busio wasted no time in calling out Leviathan and his former teammate Com. Here's what he had to say in yesterday's post-match interview.
What does that have to do with muscles?
I might have to use one swear word.
No, I have to beep you out.
Okay. I'm going to destroy Com for one. Yeah, I will destroy Com. And then I just hope Aspas doesn't go plus 30 and we'll win.
Completely fair. Yeah. Well, talk about the Cryocells Aspas matchup. That's gonna be.
Yeah, that is peak. That's like peak anime battle. So we'll see. I think we're going to destroy them. What we're playing at right now, I think we're the best team in the region. So.
I mean, do you see his arms? Absolutely jacked.
Okay.
I
didn't know he was built like that.
He's just under that jersey. My guy's got a six-pack. You guys don't even know about it. All right, well, 100 Thieves, of course, made top 4 by eliminating Loud, causing Sadak and the team to miss their first global event in that organization's time in VALORANT, which is big, profound, if you will. And now here it is. 100 Thieves, Baby Bay, they look best they've ever been. 100 Thieves fans buying all the sweaters. This is it.
I mean, yeah, it's by far the best version of 100 Thieves we've ever seen, and also the best cryo we've ever seen. He's finally being enabled, and that's due to the fact of Boostio giving him more space and more freedom to go for aggressive plays. And honestly, he had one of the best performances, I think, of his career.
But you know what? Also, there's another thing that because yesterday we had the opportunity to interview Cryo and Asuna, and you know, one thing that I had noticed right out of the gate is just what Boostio does from a morale perspective.
Yeah. I don't want to call him a vibes merchant because he's so much more than that.
Yeah.
But he really does so much to bring the team together, to keep them energized, to keep them pumped up. I mean, the fact that he's getting out of his seat every round
time
and talking trash across the stage is just so like, yeah, dude, you get invested behind that. That's somebody who casts a vision and everybody follows.
And there,
go ahead.
I mean, there's just moments with that too, where when Cryo was making a big play happen, usually he's just the stoic male laughter. You can see Boostio is talking trash for him, and he starts to smile. He doesn't say anything.
Boostio's little smirk. Cryo's little smirk is when you know he's turning up. Like
he's like the Barack Obama's anger management translator. You know what I mean? That's Boostio for Cryo. You know, that's what I want. That's what I want every single time. All right, well, let's go ahead and send it over to Elizabeth. She's actually standing by with the stoic man himself, Cryo.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Hi, Cryo. How are you? Because I'm doing terribly. But anyways. Cryo, I don't know if you know, but you literally had the best game of your partnership career yesterday. You played out of your mind, but statistically, you had the best game of your career. And today you'll be facing Aspas, who's one of the most, insane players we have in the world. What are your thoughts about that?
I think Aspas is probably the best player in the world, but right now our team confidence is at an all-time high. Everyone's feeling really good, and I think everyone has a lot to prove right now, so I think it's going to be a good match.
Best of luck. Give me one more chance. One more chance. One more. Okay.
It's not going to happen, Elizabeth. It's not going to happen. All right. But great perspective there from Cryo. Obviously, a lot of respect there for Aspas. And look, you're going to need to respect him because here's the facts. It has been a hot minute, a hot, steamy minute since 100 Thieves have been at an international event, guys. This is a massive opportunity. I mean, look, I still had hair.
No, you didn't. You didn't have hair back then.
I still had some hair.
Let's not be ridiculous.
I still had hair.
We're overdoing it a little bit here. He was still playing.
I was still playing.
They knocked you out to qualify for this event, I think.
I'm not going to talk about my Phoenix gameplay a singular moment on this stage.
My bad, bro.
But the reality is, it's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
And that was a team that put together this crazy lower bracket LCQ run. Everybody was invested. Will was popping off and really watching a team come to form. But since that, it's been really quiet.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't really had any accolades to hang their hat on up until now. And now they're flirting with something they haven't done in some asinine amount of days, 600 and something dumb. I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of days.
Yeah, all of last year, confidence was the thing I just kept looking at with that team. There were so many moments where these guys are just afraid to swing for each other. They're just not taking fights for each other. Cryo, on defense, he could hold angles extremely well on the op and get a lot of kills, but he's not playing like he is now, where he's jump peeking. It's just a totally different gear that he's kicked into. This is a totally new team.
We got a few seconds here before we throw to the stage. Let's get predictions. Lev?
Thieves.
100 Thieves.
100 Thieves.
I don't remember what I put on the graphic.
100 Thieves.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't remember.
100 Thieves.
Did I?
No.
100 Thieves.
I'm being bullied into saying 100 Thieves. I think I agree. I don't really know.
You've just been gaslit from your own prediction. Oh, man. Well, look, folks, this is going to be a great matchup, and what a way to close out the day. 100 Thieves taking on Leviathan. It's about to take place on the stage in a moment here, and, of course, there's a lot of pressure for both of these teams, but this is it. So let's go ahead and send it over to the stage and bring out your players.
Riot Games Arena, a spot for Master Shanghai is on the line. So let's bring in our first team. Give it up for 100 Thieves!
Carlos, la bestia imparable, Leviatán!
Faster.
What an interesting story you have for both of these teams. For Leviathan, you have a squad that's been put together with superstars and a literal super team combined together like a freaking Megazord to make themselves into a formidable force. Meanwhile, on the other side, you had a 100 Thieves squad that was looking for motivation, looking for inspiration, and they found it from a loudmouth IGL who won a world championship. This is what it's all about. This is going to be an exciting game, Wyatt.
Absolutely. At the beginning of this season, the 100 Thieves fans, they thought it was just going to be another year of tragedy. There was so much depression.
They were down on when Boosie got signed.
In the kickoff times, and now finally they're on the precipice of rejoice.
They don't know what to do with their hands.
No, they don't know what to do with themselves if they win this game. I mean, this would be the turnaround that they have been waiting for years.
But we gotta call a spade here. If 100 Thieves are playing fantastic Valorant right now, but it's no doubt that if they win this, it would be an upset because Leviathan are a team forged literally for this.
Yes, but I'm gonna keep it a buck with all of you. 100 Thieves was built in the same way. They signed Busia with the intent, and EU, of course, but they signed him with the intent of competing for hardware, of competing for championships, and yeah, the start wasn't as pretty as we would have expected, but truth be told, it wasn't pretty for Leviathan at the beginning either, right? They looked a little disjointed. They looked like they were playing for themselves, so for 100 Thieves, yeah, it may not have had as much firepower as we signed Aspas, and that's fair, but I think the intent was the same.
Yeah.
And I'm also, now that I've kind of riled up the 100 Thieves stand, I remember my predictions, Leviathan. Let me remind you of Aspas. Let me remind you of Aspas.
Look at the map pool.
Yeah.
We are getting bind first. I have left that in 100 Thieves' home.
That is a bold call.
Beyond the elite, the top quality that you can get on that map first.
Yeah, but how many more rounds can you win without a mouse? I mean, surely that doesn't happen again, right? There's no way.
I did see Busio charging his mouse.
We're good?
Yeah. And he took it off the charger.
Got a couple AA batteries.
I think he should be good. I think he should be good.
Probably win that, right?
Yeah.
That's their win con.
Oh, man, yeah, this is good. Okay, well, let's break down these maps real fast. It was Bind and Sunset, and if necessary, we'll go to Icebox. I gotta say, I feel good for 100 Thieves here, but you gotta have some cojones if you're going for that Bind pick against them.
Absolutely. Yesterday, Loud, they were prepared for some of the stuff early round that 100 Thieves were throwing at them. They were able to dodge getting killed by some of these early util set plays, but that was nowhere near enough. The overarching play from 100 Thieves is still so good.
Yeah, and I think we can talk about Cryo versus Aspas, and I think that's going to be the majority of the discussion, but my eyes go towards Bang. Bang has been a rock for this team, and he's developed every single time we see him. Yeah, every single time we've seen him on the stage, Bang just seems like he's maturing and developing round after round, and I think Austin is going to get unlocked. Cryo's going to do his thing. Bang needs to deliver for 100 Thieves.
Well, it's time to find out who is going to be joining G2 in Shanghai because this match punches a ticket to the Masters event right around the corner. So let's go ahead and get the show underway and send it over to Vance and Riv.
We have a rematch now of Kickoff between Leviathan and the Thieves, and last time it was Leviathan that actually came out the victors, but at least this time today, one team is guaranteed to make it through to Shanghai as they both missed Madrid last time. But man, this is gonna be crazy because we're starting things off on Bind, and everybody's talking about it. Like, why are you leaving Bind against 100 Thieves here at this point?
Why? I mean, if we look back at Kickoff, Leviathan did win the Bind matchup, and it was as 100 Thieves kind of switched over to this composition of agents we see right here. Since then, they have not lost on Bind with this composition, so maybe they found the secret sauce that's going to be able to throw Leviathan for a loop, and that's why a lot of people are questioning, the Bind is there? What? See if they have an answer for it on the side of Leviathan as we get into our first map of this series. Looking around at the buys, nothing too crazy. And the spike is dropped for first round here for Lev. Sheriff for Aspas. And right now, that's just long D, so not a lot put behind that. Just making sure it can control an extremity. A quick pickup for Dizzy. There's early information being put up to Tex instead of Com, so Com can save all of the utility under Sky's belt to make sure that's where the site take along with the Com Dizzy again.
Both teams have been in great form right now in this stage 1, and 100 Thieves even better form and looking to continue this momentum after dominating Loud yesterday on this map. It looks like at this position here, Asna is looking to play a one and done with late support coming out from EU. There's that contact, first blood for the Thieves. Then the Siege comes down and a double swing comes down. It's beautiful for at least a post-mortem kill onto Tex. 2 players left now for Leviathan as we're looking for the re-heal from Kong. King back at full health, entering the site. It's up for grabs now, and these are still spread out here, waiting for this plant to come down. As Cryocells is inching up here.
Planted.
One-on-one at the elbow, as you just heard the dog come through. And now we stay here under the pressure of wondering what's going to happen. Looking back behind the screen, though, looks like potentially it could be a round done.
We'll get it back for you ASAP on the screen. See the 100 Thieves getting back in a position that they did take that round. 100 Thieves up by 1. And now they reset for this round as we get this all fixed up for you and back onto the screen. Reminds me of the old days when it was fade to black. You go down and you can't give any info.
We're going down old school at this point.
Nostalgia coming back there for a moment. Quick tech pause here as we get set up to fix this. And yeah, what a play from 100 Thieves. A little bit of a noise creation, watch towards showers there as we saw Leviathan, Dizzy towards the short A, play a little bit around the map with spike dropped, but it really didn't deter 100 Thieves. They kept this whole protocol towards long ready. And I thought, if you called it Asana's in the one and done, okay, it'll be a few shots and then Asana's gonna back out of that, right? No, they stay here as we see how this one turned out in the end. They did push into sight, but it was the hookah control and spawn control for 100 Thieves to be able to collect that. And really nice season 8 to start off B-Long and really throw Lev for a loop.
That's the important thing too, because at that point you had that one and done position from Asuna out in the open. He had to land his shots, or if not, be quick enough to dodge some bullets to give a chance for EU to react here at that corner of shed, because his responsibility was to look for the dropout and the jump out from hookah. So good thing that Asuna was able to start things off, and it allowed the Season 8 to happen too and really slow down that push from Leviathan into that B side. And on top of that, you saw it from the replay. We mentioned it just before it went fade to black old school style that they were kind of spread out across the map here for 100 Thieves. It had to come down to a big fight between Cryocells, and it seems like Calm dogging out towards the elbow and winning that with 2 players still alive for 100 Thieves. That also means they continue their momentum from yesterday that we talked about, that they looked really good here on Bind. And as we're soon about to head back here inside the game, you'll see here too that the buy is going to be fairly strong going to the second round.
And coming back into this, we'll be in just about under a minute. We did have all of our observers crash out for a moment. So obviously Prius.
Of course.
So
we're going
to get back in real quick. And 100 Thieves is going to be in a great spot. Boostio getting 3 alt points towards the Gecko, who's already always farming points, so they can control from the defensive side with that as a focus. Asana is already 3 points up, and so is EU. They're sitting in such a nice position to carry that momentum we see so many teams snowball with recently in Valorant.
Remember on the other end too, as we're looking at Leviathan, remember they also didn't have to play that deathmatch gauntlet in that round number 1. They were waiting on the sidelines, being the top seed in that group B in this stage 1 here of the VCT Americas. And they had a chance here to watch a lot of these teams play, had a chance to watch 100 Thieves from the sidelines, and potentially why we're seeing Bind on this map. You've mentioned the matchup here that Leviathan won last time during Kickoff, and also seeing what 100 Thieves have been cooking up with against the match on Loud rather. They have that staffing to be able to try to anti-trap potentially, or know the tendencies of how 100 Thieves would play it. But it still starts off well. It seems as though the opposite happened here for 100 Thieves. That off angle that started things off really threw them for a loop for Leviathan.
And what is it going to be like that again? Yesterday was Boostio continuously making sure that he was reading the opponents, going to the soft site when they were on the attack side, reading the attack when they're on defense here. And look at him already from his watchtower in his castle, looking down.
Does bring a lot here to see Boostio setting up right now and just always having fun. I mean, I've seen this before during these tech pauses where he just likes to slam his heat pad there onto the deck. But that's exactly it. What I wanted to bring it up, like Boostio has been so good here for the vibes and potentially really what 100 Thieves needed right now to gain that confidence. I mean, you've already seen in the last 2 matches for the Thieves how Cryocells has been playing very well versus Energy.
Yeah.
Eliminating the chances of Energy to make it to the playoffs, and now on to Loud with one more chance now to make it to Shanghai. And in the middle of these games where he's screaming out, we're going to Shanghai, boys. And that was like just an easy one going through for 100 Thieves in terms of that confidence. And we've seen the results in the end. And they're hoping to continue this forward against Leviathan in this series where there's a lot on the line.
You have I think, like the night and day difference of relaxing and hyping up during our pauses here. Aspas leans back, Boostio stand up. Definitely just clashing.
Duality
even in
here.
the timeouts. Even in the time. Okay, we get back in the game. Leviathan here, running the Brimstone Viper comp. As we see, recently this was a harbor in there for the Brimstone for them, but the past few games look like the Brimstone switching it up, having the speed around the map, and also a bit more post-plant.
Still lagging another Sheriff here for Aspas and a little bit of dose to go for these trade-offs and why we're currently seeing not necessarily the full death ball. King is still watching to play that range here towards short A. But for the rest here, 3 working in tandem, working together here to take control of Hookah, where once again, passively watched, jump spot potentially from Bang in the back of that B site. There is that engagement, trying to pull the rotators out here from that B site over to A to try to get a plant down. But there's just too much here on the line, too much in the line of defense on both sides here of the map until finally Asuna falls. With that, weapon is out of reach. As Asuna falls, Bang swings out for the kill in the Bulldog. And pinched, sandwich, receives it.
Closing in on Leviathan. So that's 2 rounds. 100 Thieves has been able to read a little bit of pressure mid from Lev, but mostly a play towards B. And 100 Thieves have stayed anchored in their positions the entire time. That time, Bang starting them off, and then a few kills over towards Hookah. So Ultimate's still coming up pretty quick here. King's going to be popping off already for Lev. A few kills for him. We'll have to see if this extremity work, what Lev's trying to kind of fake 100 Thieves with, starts to have a bit more of an impact now that guns are coming into the mix. The first few rounds, you're hoping to get info and the soft site, but Lev, still shooters in their own right here, could easily start off with some peaks, but playing the default still, Vance.
Yeah, and 3 rifles in the bonus round for the Thieves too. Pretty strong buy coming in here. And it starts with a dink to the wall, but Aspas is still quite healthy. Boostio looking to close that gap. Waiting for Asa to continue to bait here so he could try to get a timing on as he goes for a jump spot instead. Now realizes here that there's a default cut noise for Leviathan.
Yeah, they'll wait. Make sure Dizzy gets kind of drowned out on this one. Now the rotation comes back over. They feel free to leave Bang.
A full rotate to come towards this A side as well. And Leviathan is a great call so far to cut that noise and re-hit and play the contact towards this B site.
Yep. They've told Bang, elbow, safer play, so the retake can fully happen on B if it comes through, and this is going to be a TP right back to the site if 100 Thieves wants to get back to B, or maybe a TP to A too. Lev's trying to read this one.
Depends on how much delay you could do, and it starts off well. The wall comes up here from Bang. There's the execution. A couple of them here are getting vulnerable as they're walking across, looking here for Leviathan. Looks committed towards this B site. 25 left on the clock as Wingman is moving forward for this plant. And you see here, it's no TP. It's a silent walk for the flank for 100 Thieves. So important here for the 2 players on elbow to delay
they don't have the timing yet.
Flank to happen.
No one's looking.
Keeping them busy. Snakebite on the ground, fighting towards the front. And Bang gets that pick onto Tex. He has a chance here, but the shot is missed by Asuna. The Jake is up. They know the flank is coming through. Pink shells to push it back. Busso gets the kill from the Hookah. Players are holding back from Leviathan outside towards Octagon. A back and forth we go. But advantage coming out for 100 Thieves. Only one left. It's Calm at 10. Sneeze down and picked off. Carl gets it. And the Wingman for the assist on the defuse. And a great bonus round converted for the Thieves.
Oh, 100 Thieves playing it quiet the whole time. It looked like it was going to be an absolute burst through the teleporter. But a slow rotate, as you called it, through the market just left Leviathan feeling comfortable that was not the position yet. They were still going to look there, but 100 Thieves had gotten there too quick and exploded into the site. Really well played by Boostio there. And we see why they're so comfortable to make these decisions, to rotate off the site so early so they can come back, play a retake, put Bang and elbow, because Bang was solo hookah at one point. Not anymore. What can Lev do now, though, is the question. Coming in around 4, Mazzino does have a hero Vandal. They're not keeping too much util behind it, but it is focused on the right side of that map as they watch the extremity with Calm on the left side. So Calm flank this round. A little bit of communication grab by Leviathan, but they do not have an answer yet.
Yeah, you're definitely counting your lucky stars here with the amount of plans that you had for Leviathan, that they still couldn't muster up this buy, but that hero rifle already becomes a villain as the lineup comes in towards the showers. It's a 1-for-1. Weapon could still get picked up here as Calm now has the Vandal for the remaining 3 players left for Leviathan. Dizzy being thrown up.
Yeah.
But I mean, it really looks like it's a stronghold now for the Thieves towards this A site. Until King closes that gap, calls range with the Stinger.
Oh, yeah.
Out of reach, as now you hear and see this thrash coming out. Asuna trying to defend. You'll be able to do so. Actually, his teammates already fallen down from that crossover from King, so it turns down to a 2 versus 2 with the Wingman planning towards the A site.
Spike planted. One enemy remaining.
Asuna takes the fight knowing it's going to be a 1v1. Now they play this confident, right? They just come back in, let Bang get close, and Asuna goes far inside here.
Now, also the opportunity of having potentially that showstopper. They'll use it, guaranteeing the round. Bang looking towards the back as King gets pushed towards that back of the spawn from the showstopper. Well done in the end. As now we have 4 unanswered for the defensive side of the 100 Thieves.
Wow. Super control of the map right now. Like, Leviathan's not even able to encroach without taking chip damage, without taking their full life in damage. Little trade there through his teammate. And that's 3 defuses too. So Lev's finding a way to get into the site, but with how many members, right? They're usually limping away as they try to set up a defensive post plant. Back to this setup where they're strewn across the map, making sure 100 Thieves isn't getting any kind of free space, but it doesn't matter. They're just playing super defense.
Looks like we're potentially trying to get a thrash here onto contact, or even walking behind it as well. Clearing towards the left side, the smoke's on the right. Ooh. It does get a contact, pain shells on the ground. That should eliminate King. Meanwhile, the crowd has fallen as he was trying to support his teammates. So that's no smokes for the Thieves on the read, taking an opportunity for Leviathan to work the map still, as they have Mazzino still alive.
Knowing that would work, seeing Texas ult last round, very comfortable to set up for a quick offensive hit from the defensive side. And now, again, this positioning where they can just play reactively against Leviathan. Slowly rotate. Second time Leviathan's trying to go through hookah here. They have all the util in the smoke from sight.
And it spots 3. That's a use, trying to slow them down here by throwing out that C's. Meanwhile, you see this double push coming out here from 100 Thieves towards that shower. It's trying to control the extremities, and once again, using the retake capabilities to their advantage. There's a satchel inside the site. Nice swing by Bang, but then he gets traded out here by Aspas towards that back of the site. Once again, one player inside the site has to delay as much as he can, and time's wasted, because look at how they're broken up. At least Asuna gets that pick here onto Tex, giving it a chance for Boostio to rotate all the way back towards the spawn.
Another situation in the post plant. Asuna finds a 1v1. Now Boostio.
One enemy remaining.
Instantly traded though. EU coming in from that back of the spawn. And it's all left to Mazzino with no util. Backstab by Asuna. The Thieves are looking so good now on their map choice of bind.
Yesterday's entries where Asuna was taking the Viper's Pit by himself with a double kill. Now the movement and positioning from a long A or a long B kill to the hookah rotation timing to catch the back of Mazzino. Asuna is just playing in the mind of his opponents right now. And we start off the round with Boostio calling an aggressive defensive strat. Like, Leviathan have no chance to think to breathe here. They're trying to reorganize for the next round, and 100 Thieves is throwing everything at them.
You definitely need it at this point here, this timeout being called out by Leviathan, and you're starting to see how 100 Thieves are working that map aggressively on one end, really pushing players towards where other players could delay here for the Thieves, but also in these post plans, there's so many flanks that are happening currently. As you see here, the composition for Leviathan, no Sentinel.
The wild thing is, too, is at the beginning of the round, Leviathan is in all of those positions that 100 Thieves is flanking from. It's just that 100 Thieves waits, finds the window, and exactly where we see Calm on the right side of the map, King kind of watching mid, 100 Thieves starts to take over all the positions and gain control of the map. Trying to think of the answer. We have not seen a fake from Lev just yet.
They haven't had a chance.
And you really can't on bind. You're just going to get TP'd on again. It's kind of hard to throw the opponent for a loop. All right. Let's see what we got. Moving in. 5-0. 3 towards A this time. 2 towards that market, that hookah side. And I wonder if they try to get the Gecko out, if they try to at least fight for Orb here. 1 for Aspas means they have Showstopper. They're looking for a bit of that future play. It could be Seekers as well. So a lot of options here. This is a big fight for Shower.
They'll make themselves known from the bird coming out, getting that ult up. Aspas has it ready. They'll push him away for a bit, and then once again, we'll see here how you're going to react for Leviathan. An opportunity now to turn it over in their favor because of this Showstopper. Being fairly proactive around the map for Leviathan. Dogging towards U-Haul, trying to push them back. They know the amount of util and that dog probably saw here. Cryo towards that back of the site, knowing that there was 3 players stacked towards there to pivot towards B and to get a nice opener.
That's the first time we get 100 Thieves trying to peek out and do a little searching themselves. Can they hold the site now? EU in a tough spot.
Showstopper's out. It's being checked. Not really. Gets that kill and the spike goes down. Finally, the rocket comes out, blows him up, and enough time for Asuna to swing through towards that spawn. Advantage back now for the Thieves. Spike down towards the window. As now you have this lurk from Tex in the back of the spawn. It's being watched. Busu is already feeling it here. That lurk is coming across. Tex may know here from that Dizzy being thrown out. No, it's not going to spot here Bustio, but it's a one-on-one on either ends of this B site. 1 by Common, Lethal Octagon. A 1 versus 1 now. Seekers out. The swing from Bustio. And they hold their ground once again.
Just kept, even with the Seekers pressure coming in, Bustio gives it the extra few steps on the face. Draws the fire and just takes perfect aim. Really great discipline here by EU to quickly collect and draw the Showstopper. Asuna just has everywhere boots right now. You look and there he is. Everywhere you would need him. Crazy stuff coming in from the duelist. Ooh. That's the I got you.
And of course, when it's him against Calm, he did say it yesterday what was going to happen, right?
I will destroy him. Oh, my word. And it is happening 6-0 here to start off. No offensive pressure has made a dent in the 100 Thieves defense right now. And the post plants are all collected up so swiftly with how the protocols are coming through. Nightfall here as well to stop. There's so many ults for Lev to use, but do they use them here on these rounds? They need to secure 1 or 2, so even on a low buy, it's a possibility now.
It's a great call. I think with these ults here, playing the same style, they might have a Thrash to clear out towards this pit and then closing the gap with this Stinger buy that you currently have. And there you go. You hear the Thrash coming out, trying to clear out that pit. The dog trying to get a stun, but doesn't work out. Asuna gets the pick. There's the orbital strike as Bang will fall on that end, including that pit. Asuna stuck out in the open, but still flicks for that second one somehow. EU here for the rescue. Stopped by Mazzino as he upgraded towards that Phantom. As now finally the plat comes down for Mazzino. The stun coming out for the wingman, and that's going to slow things down for a bit. Bustio has an opportunity to flank, but Crowd gets the pick through the smoke. With this half buy, it could still be doable here. A thrifting maybe for Leviathan as the smoke dissipates now towards that front of the site. Bustio with no utility. Calm, trying to wrap around here towards U-Haul. And Bustio's trying to clear that site. Now he may know here that Calm is stuck. Taps onto the spike, doesn't have a chance, and somehow, as he still gets killed. Oh, the second time here, no charm coming through for Calm.
The gun diff, the smart play. Bustio started searching. I was wondering, I'm like, this is a Stinger you're against. Got to keep it distanced, and he does. Just goes for the defuse, pulls out the player. And honestly, a point to Asuna playing Phantom right now. Moving fast, motion all the time, swinging like that, keeping the transfer. That Phantom is doing work, and so is Asuna. Oh my word, 13-5 there. Boostio bringing out more rounds for the team. They've had some insane clutches here to keep it 7-0, but more so their insane control of the entire game so far.
In an alternate world, if there was actually something else in a stinger here for Common at 1-1.
All right, slow move. Again, a little more reluctant here for 100 Thieves to do jump peeks. Leviathan's gonna have to do work to search out where they are. Haunted and found out towards short here.
Oh, just gonna get pushed back for a bit now.
Yep.
For Cryo has the orbital strike and looks like they want to refight it. The dog's gonna come through to support. And as it gets shot right away, now you hear the showstopper coming out from off, right from the showers. Orbital strike 2 to push them away. They wanted to guarantee this kill. Looks like 100 Thieves are not afraid of using these ults.
Yeah, they're just they're playing and they're okay to stack the cards in their favor for any situation.
I like this though. After those ults are being used, they think here that the pivot's going to happen for 100 Thieves to stack towards B, so Cryo could be stuck. Doesn't get checked to start, but it gets traded at least, and Calm also gives the advantage for Leviathan inside the A site. But instantly, the Nightfall comes out for EU. They take control of U-Haul. Players are rotating across. You have a late alert from Calm with low HP towards Showers, as EU lost that fight to Tex.
So smart by Calm to get over here and start to stretch what possibly the player's thin, but Bang's timing a little long, a little late. As the defuse starts to come in, so it's going to activate Leviathan to show themselves.
Oh, nice Dizzy being thrown as well from Tex on the pulse plant. They broke the wingman as well, and that's not even diffused halfway. There's that backstab finally closing the gap, trying to backstab on the second, and Tex does a great job now to get the last 2 as well. Trading off and also dropping the diffuser. Leviathan finally scored.
Now we're talking.
Very nicely done. Getting themselves in with a few of those ults, making sure they could still get the round. 7-1 is where they start to fight back, and it just looked like 100 Thieves had every answer here. You get slowly pushed out. They didn't necessarily want to fight King as he pushed in.
Let's go.
And they know 7-5 is a possibility now with that round coming into their favor. Not a lot of ultimates online here for 100 Thieves. A perfect time to kick back for Leviathan. And they can grab some economy too. With the way the rounds have been going, 100 Thieves does not have a massive economy after 7 wins. So that's big.
Very surprising at that point as well, right? Half armor for a couple of players.
Yeah.
At least they have util. Also using one of them towards Showers at the beginning here. EU cleared it out, puts Asuna and inserts him inside Showers, where he plays once again another off angle. Trying to see if Leviathan are not going to play those funnies and clear those 50s. But for them, for Leviathan, it's a contact play once again towards Hookah. Bang is going to be the one challenge, and Bang is going to be the one to strike. Aspas to answer back, but Boostio's there on the ledge of the window. Another 1-for-1, but sight is finally open and taken advantage of by Leviathan.
Aspas almost has to do it himself. Get all the way towards the back, and nicely covered here. Looks like they're going to try to take double elbow and long control. Very nice defensive setup if they control together.
And they're not. Poor spacing, and Aspas now has to anchor it up on that elbow, potentially even fall back as the C's got pushed forward. Now also located, spotted by the Haunt. EU gets the easy pick and the second one to fall. No opportunities for Leviathan to play the crossfire in. 100 Thieves are not giving a chance for Leviathan to gain any momentum.
We're seeing timing in these situations that really shouldn't be timing. That setup was there. They were both towards long. They knew the rest of Leviathan, that is, knew the rest of their teammates were coming in from the long area. So take control of that elbow area. They just single peek. And that's the window, the timing 100 Thieves is using. And like I said, it's not even really a window. They're moving so fast. Lev should realize this by now. 100 Thieves is on them almost immediately in each one of these plays with a protocol of their own to take the site back. And just look at the amount of post-plant defuses. We'll come back to it now as we're in a pause, but 100 Thieves are not afraid of giving Lev a little space here to take it all right back. Crazy stuff.
This is looking dangerous for the for Leviathan.
Absolutely.
Second timeout already called before the half even ended, not knowing how. 100 Thieves are going to play the attack once we switch sides. This is putting a lot of doubt now into Leviathan's camp, potentially wondering why they actually did leave Bind through here against 100 Thieves.
Yeah, it is definitely a question. Asuna 15-6, just another playground of his, honestly, just marking his name down on a lot of these maps with whatever he wants to play. And Boostio being able to call the defensive strats that aren't allowing Leviathan a lot in the round. I mean, I'd love to go back and look at how many first bloods they're actually getting here, because they've usually been stopped at the first corner. That's walking into hookah without the util, trying to take things by contact. 100 Thieves is punishing left and right if you're trying to do that right now. Play towards the right side of the map here. All of Leviathan are going to stick on this. And 100 Thieves shower control stays true again.
Great call you're calling too. Every time you're trying to play contact for Leviathan, a death ball of 2 or 3 players, it's still 100 Thieves' first blood.
Exactly. And they're right behind each other to protect too. Here in sight.
Guy hit by the flash here, but manages to fall back on time. Asna with the spray through the smoke, and Aspas is not going to like that. The lure buy that you have here for Leviathan, just looking for a plan, it gets denied right away. EU and the rest of the Thieves are just trying to window off here. The smokes that were placed inside this A site, blocking vision, and finally, now that it's gone, that opportunity here for Leviathan to try to get a plant is null, is 9. One more to go, and it's Boostio on fire.
100 Thieves, well, yes, they are winning. They are just denying Leviathan the ability to use their composition to even set up in those spots. We see Aspas go down again right there. No blast back into the site. Now everybody has to crouch in again and hopefully have the right flashes, but 100 Thieves is already pushing forward. You don't have time to set up. You don't have time to do anything. You're on a low buy. 100 Thieves is not going to let up one bit. Listen to that crowd. All right, ultimates, 4 of them for Leviathan. Any time to strike back would be now. They go for the same exact strategy, and this is a rerun as well by 100 Thieves.
But on the other side of the smoke, there's that flash. Everybody's blinded. It's the board lit up for Leviathan. All of 3 members of 100 Thieves trying to go for that aggressive play towards that A site. Has been denied here, and that's a great call, potentially off the timeout. That now activates 5 ultimates that Leviathan could carry over for these last 2 rounds.
All right, so Lev taking a bit here to feel comfortable in their own skin, really. As they pick into this map, or rather leave this map, I should say, and now kind of suffer the consequences. We still have that second half. We'll see what they have for the defensive side, but 100 Thieves with such a good read here. This one's just going to pan out for the ultimates of Lev, staying up with the weapons, and they look to grab a few more rounds. Pistol's going to be so important as we come into the next round. If Aspas, or not next round, but next half, I should say.
I like this at least for EU to try to fight. 400 Thieves, they have plenty of money to buy into the next round, and already you have all 5 ults ready there for Leviathan. So you try to make it expensive in the round win for Lev, so that hopefully they have a much broken bind going into the last round, but it's not going to happen. A much healthier one. Quite the opposite for Leviathan, and a chance to close it out on a 9-3 scoreline.
So now what's the question, right? Do you, if you're Boostio, do you see all 5 ultimates and say, we need to act first and chance getting thrashed in the face, getting showstopper in the face, or do you actually play to the back of the site like a KO could ult you from anywhere, right? Even though they don't have it. Just an example. But yeah, a lot of pressure. And Seekers as well if you get halfway through the round, and Lev hasn't seen what they want.
I've got your trail.
100 Thieves keep it kind of default on the defense, and we start to see these ultimates unravel from the side of the Leviathan.
Yeah, double ult Seekers and also the Thrash. It does connect out to Bang. There's that showstopper. So yes, they will unload in that site. Hot comes out, but no opportunities to go for any wall bangs across here for 100 Thieves. Finally, it's Leviathan once again with all of these ults used and an orbital strike towards the elbow, keeping him out of bay. Not giving a chance here for EU and Cryo to fight back. Pit is going to be so difficult to go through towards the spawn. So both players now for the Thieves opt to go towards the elbow, but same thing as Leviathan, separated in the reclear. At least a trade, but Cryo has to go nuclear here. An ace clutch to win this round for 100 Thieves. And he's pinned and cornered. Back to a face-to-face against Mazzino that he wins. But you see everybody else backing up. Let's play the time into our favor. And it's definitely looking like it's doomed now for Cryo, at least on the attempt of the clutch. And a round will go in for now for Leviathan. Play the stats, don't give it to him.
Oh!
Still did. Still
got him. King's got a lot of kills too. Rack it up. 100 Thieves, 9-3 on that first half, and heavily in control. It felt like Leviathan needed everything in those rounds that they were actually able to get into their favor. Here, 5 ultimates to take it. If they hadn't, that would be worrisome.
Yeah, it took a bit. It took a bit
to get there.
Exactly. Able to get there is that keyword, at least for Leviathan. A chance to fight back now on the second half. But now let's get a quick word from Cryo and get his thoughts on 100 Thieves' performances in 2024 and what's changed for the better.
I definitely do think this is the strongest iteration of 100T. It's the same in how we treat each other outside of practice. Like, we're all pretty good friends, and we all relatively like hang out with each other a lot outside of prac. But I do think it differs in practice and just like our overall system and culture. Everyone's a lot more free to do whatever they want and just is more confident as a result.
Free to do what they want, free to also get that confidence now after seeing the results of how they play towards the scrim. But now you mentioned, I mean, Cryo mentioned it and Busio did yesterday as well. It's really translating into the server right now against all of their opponents so far. A great turnaround from the beginning of that stage 1 going into this moment right here.
I think I remember one of them saying in their interviews after even the first 2 series wins, they started to ramp up on. They're like, we feel unstoppable. Get out of our way. This is just it's going to be over. And Busio saying the best team right now they feel throughout America is all Zix. And the way that they kind of dissect teams and read them and approach is incredible because they're very open about it too. They're like, you know, we see this and this from a certain team, as Zix said when they faced Cloud9. We got to see their bind when they played Loud, and it made us change just a few things in the way they played their composition, so we changed ours. And it just seemed to be such a good read every time, a good investment for what 100 Thieves are focusing on, and the payoff is there each time they get in the game on stage. 18 seconds left for this timeout before we get into the next half, or halftime, I should say, before we get into the next half, as it were. And again, Aspas with the Sheriff. We said that's important. Are they going to continue to support this and get him rolling? We did not see a lot of impact showstoppers even last round. It was mostly Asuna kind of flying around on that Raze duelist, 16-8. As all of Leviathan has been kept quiet on that first half.
And for the side here with the Thieves, you just saw a switch around here as we're getting more utility out of EU. Dizzy to start things off to get contact now towards Com at that octagon, but they have a lot of ghosts in their favor here. Trying to play that range in their trades here and less utility to clear those corners, so they have to be diligent now.
See one orb grab as well on that right side shower is orb grab. Maybe a bit of focus. That should go to Gecko. You see Busio pick that up. Still no commitment here. They're trying to pressure with Asuna. Asuna's had such a big impact on the game as well. Just putting him at the front of this site, Lev almost has to respect and react. They're playing towards the back more for a retake, and A looks like they're getting ready to rotate over to B.
They're also trying to let Cryo be a late lurk towards the hookah, and King seems to identify this. So he wants to give up the site. He wants to have full control here of hookah, but 3 players now swarming in for the Thieves. No chance there for King. There's a triangle formation to take him down. Com trying to flash out. Half line is going to be at least EU, but all of us, 100 Thieves are actually through. Fighting inside that smoke, straight across. It's a 2 versus 1 advantage that goes into the favor of 100 Thieves in the end.
Ooh, fighting within the smokes, dipping and dodging there. It got a little chaotic, but everybody had their mark from inside 100 Thieves to be able to grab the pistol round. And again, that just puts more pressure on Leviathan here. Let's see how it happened again. This entry into hookah was really slick by 100 Thieves.
One enemy remaining.
And then they're able to drop back into sight too from just about every angle. You had a big lurk coming around from Bang, so every member of 100 Thieves in sight knew they could focus forward towards spawn. After they killed hookah, they did not have to worry about anything behind them. So great map control allowed 100 Thieves to focus down in the post plant. Now towards B, Bang again on that slight lurk with a stinger straight by Leviathan. They are pressured to get around in here, so a hand is forced into this buy.
Exactly, a full buy coming through that would put them potentially in another half buy or a full eco after, just to try to get the money right. You're hoping that the gamble works out here, economy-wise. Haunt being thrown, not shot out, now forced away is the position of King. Back towards the elbow and looks to walk back forward as the wall comes down. But Asana's already inserted inside Octagon. The double satchel in the back. The Molly, it's at least a 1-for-1. There's that long-range fight, but it's a stinger once again against the rifle of the Thieves. Plant coming down to TP across. Fully stunned, gets the pick. And all the shots once again landing for the Thieves, leaving Mazzino alone. Late on a rotate, smoke dissipating towards the back of the spawn, runs out, catches Cryo off guard. And a chance here. Weapon to get picked up. And EU doesn't want to give him that chance. But he loses that one. Now you're going to play a little bit more discipline now for the last two players. Bang and Busio set up on the crossfire and just waiting for that spike to get tapped on. And it's a smoke right onto that spike. No chance to pick up the weapon. Their early spray to come through, and Bang swings out to get the pick. No chance for Mazzino in the clutch.
And I think 100 Thieves expected that to be a buy. I was looking at Busio. He had a Sheriff, but he also had 0 credit. So even coming out of the previous round alive with Bang there, they were dropping guns to the team, getting that priority on the fraggers so they could get in and do a lot of damage to what would be a buy from Leviathan. So very heady control of what's going to be happening just in that econ game. And 100 Thieves stave off the Stinger purchase. Like you said, another one can squeak through here for Lev. It's going to be the low armor buy, but with Bulldogs this time.
Because they had that plan, so thankfully that 300 extra credit, it's a lot here to give a chance for Leviathan to fight back. So Bulldogs, as you mentioned, Stingers, and we go early inside that site.
Okay.
2-400 Thieves. Pressure now towards the showers. And nothing seems to be looking to be working for Leviathan. Even mid-range with the Judge. Fighting against Calm. Back to the classic. And then Judge long range right to the face. 100 Thieves at that point.
That was actually disgusting. Where 99% of the time you see the rays coming up over the truck when they go into sight. Asuna just flies into plant spot and then loops around the truck, completely confusing everybody. You're looking up at the Dizzy. He's coming around from the side. Disgusting stuff. Nice little route there by Asuna. Really well prepared round by 100 Thieves. Busio is just having the time of his life right now. All right, we get into another round. Like I said, game point here on this first map coming in for 100 Thieves. They play it straight to B long. Start pushing Leviathan off their first line, still on a Guardian buy. Haven't even had a good full buy for the second half.
And you see how Leviathan is scrambling so far because they've already used both of their timeouts. So initial contact, force rotate, opening up the site, and Busio has the whole map as his oyster. Could do whatever he wants as a call. But now looking to use that Thrash to open things up towards the A site, potentially even allowing Asuna to insert with his Judge inside U-Haul. But a counter orbital strike forced to be pulled out. So we have trades towards that front in the back of the site. A 1-for-1, Guardian long range, and Texas pushed back. There's still alert coming across here from Calm. As the rest of 100 Thieves are using that wingman for a plant and looking to fight towards that spawn.
Haven't felt the impact of these lurks just yet from Calm. Can he make it happen? They're entering from the other side of sight now. He's got to move soon.
Delay from the Snakebite, long-range fight, easily won here by Bang. Flash coming through, and you definitely know this one-on-one battle once again. Won by Busio versus Calm. The Thieves assert their dominance and only need one more map for Shanghai.
What a showing on the first map from 100 Thieves. Not a moment of hesitation, indecisive play, nothing. They controlled the map, the rotations, everything was incredible here from 100 Thieves. And that, it's wild to think as well, because this is what people were asking from them. There's like, all right, you're giving us this, you're the best. Well, what you're saying you're even better. What is there? And there's a little bit more in the tank there. Where can they go, Vansili? It's crazy stuff.
They can go wherever they want. It's going to be on Sunset for the next map, but at least if you're looking on the Thieves camp, everybody's shooting so far. Cryo Cells wasn't really needed at that point, but we'll figure that out after the break.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through Attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle. You're going to be able to fight this.
Red Bull gives you wings.